Are you planning to travel to Canada during this pandemic? To enter Canada by air, work your way through every step to understand how to plan and prepare. Each step has specific requirements and exemptions that will follow through to later stages of your travel. Use the same email address for all of your entry requirements, where applicable, when registering for COVID-19 testing upon arrival and booking a government-approved hotel. Before we continue, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell, so you will get notified every time I upload videos about Canada. To reduce the spread of COVID-19, Canada requires travelers to provide necessary information using ArriveCan at arrival time and after entry to Canada. All travelers entering to Canada must follow testing and quarantine requirements to keep Canadians safe. If you can enter Canada and you have no symptoms, you must quarantine for a minimum of 14 days. At this time, you are not excluded from quarantine, even if you have been vaccinated for COVID-19, tested negative for COVID-19, and recovered from COVID-19. Who has to do a hotel stopover? At this time, to prevent the spread of COVID-19, you must book and pay for a 3-night hotel stopover before you arrive in Canada. You will stay at the government-authorized hotel while you await your arrival test results. This applies even if you have been vaccinated for COVID-19, tested negative for COVID-19 on your pre-entry test, traveled for compassionate reasons, and a place to quarantine alone. Air travelers are only exempt from the 3-night hotel stay if they're recently recovered from COVID-19. Travelers must have proof of a positive COVID-19 molecular test taken between 14 to 90 days before travel. An unaccompanied minor under the age of 18, a person traveling alone 18 years of age or older who is dependent on someone else for care or support for their mental or physical limitations. Already exempt from the arrival test requirement, and already exempt from the quarantine requirement. As a traveler, you must demonstrate that you have a suitable plan for quarantine. You will need to confirm you have a suitable place to quarantine where you stay for 14 days or possibly longer, have access to the necessities of life, including water, food and medication without leaving quarantine, can avoid contact with others who did not travel with you, and have no visits from family or friends. Remember, you cannot quarantine in group living environments. Some examples include a small apartment you share with others, a shared household with a large family or families or many people, a shelter, group home, group residence, hostels, industrial camps, construction trailers or other group setting, a student residence unless you've received prior authorization, and shared living spaces with housemates who haven't traveled with you that you cannot avoid interacting with. For a full list of examples, visit the Congregate Living Settings section of travel.gc.ca. If you are not displaying symptoms, you may be allowed to complete your quarantine at a hotel. A Government of Canada representative can give you instructions. While staying at a hotel, you must stay in your room to avoid contact with others. Practice physical distancing. Practice good hand hygiene and cough etiquette at all times. Use a delivery service and ask that the meal be left outside the door of your hotel room. Make your quarantine plans in advance of your arrival to Canada. Foreign nationals who do not have a suitable plan may be denied entry into Canada. If you do not have a suitable place to quarantine, you may be directed to a federal designated quarantine facility where you must remain for your entire mandatory quarantine. These facilities are a last resort for travelers who have no options of meeting quarantine requirements by other means. Where required, transportation from the border crossing to a federal designated quarantine facility is provided by the Government of Canada. If coming to Canada as a final destination, all travelers must use ArriveCan to submit their plan. ArriveCan is free, secure and is the official Government of Canada platform to provide your details when entering Canada. Use ArriveCon to provide mandatory travel information on and after your entry into Canada. It's available for iOS, Android, and online. Do not leave your place of quarantine unless it is for a medical emergency, an essential medical service or treatment, to obtain a COVID-19 molecular test, or it is pre-authorized by a quarantine officer. Also, use only private outdoor spaces, that is balcony. Do not have any visits from family or guests, and do not use shared spaces such as lobbies, courtyards, restaurants, gyms, or pools. Always expect calls, emails, and visits from the Government of Canada. The Government of Canada uses the information you provided in ArriveCon to verify that you arrived at your place of quarantine and are providing daily symptom reports. You will receive live or automated calls. You must answer calls from 1-888-336-7735 and answer all questions truthfully to demonstrate your compliance with the law. Also, you will receive email reminders of your quarantine requirements. All travelers are required to take a COVID-19 test on arrival and another on day 8 of their quarantine. Follow the testing instructions for your method of entry. You must take a test before leaving the airport. At that time, you will get a COVID-19 at-home specimen collection kit to use for your test on day 8 of your mandatory quarantine. Following the arrival test, you will need to go directly to your reserved hotel to await test results. On day 8 of your mandatory quarantine, follow the instructions to complete your test. Please do not open any of the kit components until you are instructed to do so by a telehealth healthcare provider. You may open the kit to review the instructions and serial number, which is required for registration. Switch Health has been hired by the Public Health Agency of Canada to manage all day 8 COVID-19 test kits for air travelers with the exception of Alberta. You must create an account with them to perform your test and access your results. Use the same email address you used for ArriveCon. You must have internet access to log in or create your Switch Health account. Follow the home test steps to schedule the courier pickup of your sample for delivery to the laboratory. Wait to connect to a Switch Health nurse before you open the test tube. Watch the video on how to use your own test kit on the link provided in the description box. For more information, visit https://travel.gc.ca. Please note, the information in this video is current at the date and time it was uploaded. The policy and guidance based on the COVID-19 restrictions may be changed without notice.